Hey everyone, it's Don. Welcome to Don't Worry, I'm Finite. They're doing a special morning session. This is probably the earliest I've ever recorded. Chanel, James, and I, my guests from last week, are about to do a quick little session. We're going to talk about the songs we chose to put on our Spotify playlist. She and I are both very fond of music. We're big fans of pop punk, emo, and other styles of music, and that's kind of how we became friends and got close to each other. So I wanted to share a Spotify playlist since music plays a big role in her movies that she makes. She's a filmmaker. If you haven't listened to the episode yet, go back and listen to the episode. I'll link the podcast below. But right now, let's let in Chanel.
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I know you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
You can? Oh, okay. I was saying you might have to cut off the side over here with this door because I don't want you to see the kitchen. It's like too much shit over there. So I try to do this. So just that's okay. That's my, yeah.
Chanel James, our director, everyone.
No, don't put this in there. That was just for you.
See, I like the candid stuff. I like all the good stuff where everybody's being real and talking about how you want to frame your shot, especially because you're a director.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
So anyway, yeah, I was just talking to the camera myself and saying I'm welcoming you and that I'm excited to do this because your music plays such a big part in the movies that you make, and I had a fun time putting together the Spotify playlist. So I figured we could look at the list we made and just talk about why we chose the songs we did.
Okay. Sounds
anyway,
good.
How you doing this morning? I know you're 3 hours in the future. How is it up there?
It's completely fine. I went outside for a second. I was thinking about sitting out there, but it's a little too chilly, but it's a pretty fall day. Lots of leaves.
Yeah. It's a beautiful fall day in San Francisco also. It's gonna be like 73 degrees today.
Yeah, I feel like anything that California is very pretty. So
I've come to,
I saw the pictures of the bridge and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful here. I always come to San Francisco expecting cold weather though, because like when the fog rolls in and it just gets chilly. I've been here when it's like super cold. You just have to be prepared for both sets of weather. But I've been lucky the week and a half I've been here. It's been super nice. So I definitely lucked out. And I'm going back to San Diego, so it'll definitely be nice there.
That's cool. I want to go to there, but I haven't been there yet.
Yes, come to there. We each picked 10. We each picked 10 songs.
Yes.
The first song you picked is not at all a surprise to me. I think we discussed it in the episode Me versus Maradona versus Elvis by Brand New. Yeah, so how that song definitely has a big meaning to you over the years, right?
Yeah, I mean Deja is my favorite album.
That's your favorite album,
band. Yeah, so I got this guy on my
own. Nice.
But yeah, when I was writing my short film, this was the song that inspired me to write from that character's point of view, the male character in the film, because of the way that the song described this guy's kind of general MO. I kind of thought about what his night might look like. So that's why I put that on there, because it's one of my favorite songs. And it was an inspiration for that film. So
just out of curiosity, what do you think of the narrator of that song? Like what do you think of like the motives there? Like do you think it's just like a shitty young guy, or do you think it's like just being honest about how we all kind of treat like bar culture and hookup culture?
Oh, I think that all that I could sum up how I feel about that came out in the movie, and it's confusion.
Okay. Yeah, confusion definitely feels like on both confusion and like inability to like for me it feels like an inability to handle your emotions well in the moment, but then like having the self-awareness to be able to reflect on your actions or know what your actions are probably going to be, but you have a few drinks and then you start acting like a whole different person. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving credence to the whole thing with by alcohol, but that's part of what I think of it as. Like, I
Yeah.
know once I go out, I'm gonna turn into like the person that whether it's good or not, whether I like that person or not, I feel like that's the person,
Yeah.
you might turn out to
Bar
be.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
20
definitely
20
is like
something bar
an
guy.
activity. Yeah, I mean, definitely like when you go out, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
and
all
I
I
mean,
have to say.
yeah, that's probably the song that I'm most interested in dissecting overall. And you made a movie about it, so as if you haven't
Yeah,
listened to the
I think
podcast,
it's
go listen to
all
the
in
podcast.
there.
But yeah,
Yeah.
go watch the movie. It's a short film, and it was a great short film.
And it's just a
um
small aspect of it too. It's just a small, it's not the whole, it's just
yeah, it was just like
it
the seed.
inspired. Yeah.
Totally. And I also like these are not in any particular order for me. So actually, this is
Yeah.
one of the issues, one of the times where I think using the Spotify shuffle button might be actually useful, because I just kind
Yeah.
of threw them in an order. Some of them I feel like if I did choose the order, I'd choose them later.
Right.
The first one I chose is Flight Number 5 by Dan Campbell, who is the lead singer from the Wonder Years. They're my favorite
Okay.
band.
Cool. Oh, look at that.
So
Nice.
and he just put out a solo album where he had written songs from the vantage point of other people. Like, people would tell him their stories. Like, he chose 15 or 20 people. They told them their stories, like their love story or their whatever, and he wrote stories from their perspectives for them. Like, he basically commissioned their songs, and then he loved the songs that he wrote so much that he like retooled them with Ace Enders to put out
Oh,
like a solo album himself. And I really
that's nice.
love the album, and this is the first single off of it, and it's just been really sticking with me lately.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna
Yeah,
listen to that. I did not know that was available at
yeah.
all. So that's
So
exciting.
I love all the stuff
I
he
do
does.
enjoy the Wonder Years.
Definitely check him out. All right, so what do you got
Okay.
next? Some Vertical
The
Horizon.
next one, yeah, Vertical Horizon. That one we talked. These are all ones we talked about on the podcast. So that
Oh
one's
yeah.
on there. That and Drive I'll just put together because
Yeah.
they were two of the songs that introduced me, like when I was around 13, to just like alternative rock and alternative pop rock. They were just two of the ones I heard on the radio, and I'd always wait for them to come on the radio. So they hold a very early fondness for me,
Yeah,
just for that.
when I heard that Vertical
I
Horizon song
still
come
do.
on, I was like, hell yeah, I haven't heard this song in a long time.
Yeah,
Same with
it's just
Drive.
it's like a sweet little song. Like this poor little guy in this song, he's just like, why don't you wanna? What's wrong
Yeah.
with me? And I'm like, oh no.
That
So
song
I just
actually
thought
makes
that was
me
really
go ahead. Sorry.
what?
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, that just is just a sweet little song. And I was like, well, that's nice. I just
Yeah.
like it.
The song makes me think of a specific person, so it's
Oh,
but I do like
sweet.
that Drive, if you look at Spotify, when Drive is on, it has like the drawing thing, like that we talked about from the video. I rarely look at Spotify when I'm like playing anything from Spotify, but I happened to like pull up the full screen, and I was like, oh, it's got the little like the drawing from the video. That's cool.
That is cool.
I
do remember sitting on the floor watching that music video. So.
Oh man, yeah. And I remember being like, man, that guy is really attractive. And he's drawing himself.
Yeah.
I was like, I am questioning things about my sexuality right now. Young Don questions sexuality. That's what that song was called for me. Absence of Me by Gardening Not Architecture is just like a really airy, ethereal, amazing song by Sarah Saturday's project, Gardening Not Architecture. I just had her on the podcast a couple weeks ago. She's amazing. Nice. She puts out great music. You should definitely check out her and all of her projects.
Very nice.
And next I have for me, This Is Heaven by Jimmy Eat World. Clarity has never been one of my favorite albums by Jimmy Eat World. I know, like, that's blasphemy in the Jimmy Eat World spheres, but
when you come in.
Were you into Clarity?
Later.
Okay, yeah, same.
Too.
Like, Bleed American is what got me into
thing.
it.
Yeah. I think it's just age.
I think it is. But I mean, even as Bleed American, like I always liked Clarity. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate it in their catalog, and I love some songs from it, but it just never grabbed me the right way. But they just released 3 albums that they did live during the pandemic, but they recorded them studio live, and they, it wasn't a live show, but they recorded them in studio and then released them as like a full album live show. And the Clarity album, like I don't know what it is about their live recording, but it has like completely changed the way I think about that album, and now I
Oh,
fucking love that album. So
that's great.
really enjoying like revisiting it and like it's almost like getting a new Jimmy Eat World album for me, because but I already know the songs.
Yeah. I'm
Pretty
excited
cool.
to listen to this one because I did, when you put this on here, that's when I noticed that it happened. I feel like I've just been like not around like for some stuff. So sometimes I'm able to track what's coming out this year, and then
Yeah,
things just keep surprising me, which is great. But this is one of the ones that I just didn't know was coming. So I'm like, oh great, so I'm gonna listen to that.
totally.
But I did listen to this song, and it's great. And I do love this song just like by them. It's a really
Me
pretty song.
too.
So.
This is one of the ones I always liked, but something about the way they did this song, like this song specifically, hits so much differently. I feel like it just builds better. And I think Jim's voice is a lot more mature and like confident now. So I think
Yeah,
there's a big change in like the maturity level. So I like that.
that is nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, I'll just move through
Yeah.
mine. I'll just do like two at a time.
Yeah.
So the next one is Teenage Wrist and Dive.
I wasn't sure how
Both
to
of
say
these
that.
are bands. Yeah, Dive. Yeah, both of these are bands that have been with me for the last few years pretty closely. Like I've just listened to these records over and over and over again. I don't really know what to say about them. Um, like Dive is like, I don't even know how to describe. It's just good. It's like Teenage Wrist is like this like shoegazy kind of post grunge thing that, you know, I didn't hear for a while. And then when they did it, it was like a totally different way to do it. And it was really cool. And so when this album came out in 2018, I just kind of like gripped to it. You know, it's like the songs were awesome. Stoned Alone was a good one. Swallow's a good one. And then their EP Days, which came out in 2015, I would also recommend. I think that's 2015. And then Dive, they've been out since 2012. This record is The Is R, came out in 2016, and it's just good.
Yeah.
It's like chill stuff.
I don't know if it was
dreamy.
because I was thinking about why you might have chose them, but they both felt like they would have been like soundtrack choices from a specific scene to me. Like they felt like it felt like they're
Brooklyn.
like they're just like backtrack for scenes that were happening, and I could almost picture what was going to be happening in the scene.
Oh, definitely. That's a great way to think of it. I mean, Dive and Wild Nothing are just like Brooklyn for me, especially.
Okay.
I just have to like, they're all together. I just grouping them. But Wild Nothing, like it just reminds me of just waiting for the J train all the time. So just like little stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So
that sounds like a good name for a song also. Waiting for the J train.
But
yeah, no, I like that. None of those bands had I listened to. I had heard of Wild Nothing and Teenage Wrist, but I had never like given them a fair shake. So I'm interested, especially in Wild Nothing. I'm interested in getting a little more into their catalog.
Nocturne, that album.
Cool. Yes. Nice. That's what I love about these playlists. My next one's Frank Turner, Haven't Been Doing So Well, which is like probably the newest song, second to newest song he has put out off of his forthcoming album from February. But this song very much encapsulates kind of what it feels like to be in lockdown pandemic, like feeling like you're kind of going crazy. Like for a person like Frank Turner who tours, who plays like 450 shows in a 365-day year,
right?
He's very much like on my wavelength as far as like he's always moving, he's always on the move, doing stuff, traveling, and he doesn't know what to do with himself when he's like trapped. And that's kind of what this song is about, like the depression that comes with being trapped and not being able to do what you love to do. So
yes,
he's also totally one of my favorite artists, and like I love pretty much his whole catalog. But he's that's one of those old ones.
I had to go click on his name so I could find it. The song Get Better. That's one of his that I like. It's like the one that I really know the most.
He does headfirst dives into like mental health and recovery and stuff like that. So
we love to see
it. The next one is Save Face, which is a band I just started listening to recently. Somehow.
I've never heard of that.
This album, One More Kill for the something. I forgot the name of the album. But their new that's their newest album from 2019. But like it's totally it's 100% My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge era, and it's amazing. And like it's like got a little bit of a newer spin on it, and I've just been like loving the feeling of a throwback, but has like a whole different vibe to it.
Oh, that's cool.
And like I mean, obviously they are very much taking a page from My Chemical Romance's book here, but it seems in a very like obviously loving way, because like they put their own little spin on it. But there's so many times where I'm like, that could just totally be Gerard singing. It sounds so similar, but all the songs are so unique that I'm like, it doesn't sound like they just ripped off one of their songs. It just sounds like they took their style and ran with it, which I love. And
I think it's nice for time to have given, like, it's enough time has passed where that's I like seeing that that's an influence. So
they're like, you guys not doing anything else with this, because we're going to take it. If not, because people want this, and we're going to give it to them.
I love Olivia Rodrigo for that completely separate reason. She's like kind of picking up on the Hilary Duff, Avril Lavigne kind of Veronica's time frame that was really special, like the Disney original movie soundtrack that a lot of us love. And she's like taken that and run with it. So I think my AirPods are gonna die.
There's a market for it. My next one is Esquece by Aliados, and that's they're a Brazilian band. And while I was learning Portuguese, Maya gave me some bands that I might like, and this band Aliados put out this amazing like pop punk album in like 2009 and or so. I mean, I'm guessing that time frame, but it's right around there. And I was like, why did this band not blow up? And like, obviously it's in Portuguese, so I don't know that, I mean, I've read the lyrics, and I know what some of it means, but this song specifically just like got me into this band, and like it really kind of helped me a little bit with learning some Portuguese, and like being excited about learning a language that way, because when you can hear your favorite music in a language you're learning, it's like, okay, I can get into this in a different way now. I can access this from a different part of my brain.
Hear it in context.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've been enjoying finding bands from all over for indie digs in that way. Of just like French musicians. I don't know what they're saying. I love the song. It
really good French
me
music.
To decipher, like what they're talking about, and like help me kind of understand the language a little bit better. It's like a fun. It's nice. It's nice to have music kind of cross.
Totally.
Okay, I'm gonna put the other headphones on then. I sleep with these.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I sleep with my AirPods, so there's a crapshoot when I wake up if they're gonna still be the battery.
I understand.
Okay, all right. What's the next one? Is it my turn?
Yeah, Tame Impala.
Or do you want to do more? Okay.
Yeah.
I can go to the next two. Because can you hear me okay, by the way? Because I changed into this thing.
Can you hear me?
Okay, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
So Tame Impala, that was just my favorite. I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
And he's just great. Have you listened to this person yet?
Not really. No, they're one of that's someone that I've heard of for a long time, never got into.
What a cool person, Kevin Parker. What a great band.
Yeah.
So yes.
And I've only heard good things.
Only good things. This record, I felt like it predicted 2020 or something, like just for what everyone had to kind of go through. It came out in February, and it was all about like he tends to like survey, well, the last two have been surveying a relationship. I think I don't want to talk too much about the first ones. I think one of them was like about his dad. Anyway,
okay.
The last two were definitely about like the arc of a relationship. Gotcha. So on top of just being like great, like neo psychedelica, he's like doing a great like full on like story, like beginning to end.
Nice. I love that kind of stuff.
That I thought was really cool.
All right, you can hear me now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So Tame Impala sounds like someone I need to check out. I think your next one is the most unique to the list.
Yes. Ornette Coleman, I listened to that when I was working on my last project pretty much exclusively. So when I just was like going to bed, or just kind of brainstorming ideas of, directing ideas and all that. This just like fit,
Nice.
just because I've never really listened to him that much. And I don't know, it called to me. This record. It's very innovative for jazz. And I just kind of it's kind of like calling on the elders, like, help me with my idea. So I just kind of hung out with him pretty much the whole time until it was over.
Awesome.
I listened to a lot of Ornette Coleman.
Awesome.
It
I
helped.
love.
And it was like very like,
Oh
kind of
yeah,
encouraging.
it definitely
to
had that like kind of
do.
like live jazz feel to it as
Yeah.
well. And I love listening to like jazz or piano or string music, non vocal, when I'm like working on a project and I'm writing or something like that. It really helps me like focus my mind. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that you added something like that.
Yay.
Um,
All right.
my next one that I really have much to say about is "Lonesome" by Mary Scholes, another friend of mine,
Okay.
who's the next person I have on my podcast. Actually, she will be, she's been putting out great singer songwriter soulful music for years. Like that's how I kind of met her through friends of friends in Philly, and then I've stayed friends with her since she moved to LA, and she's just been doing like DIY great music, puts on a great live show, piano and acoustic music. And yeah, I encourage everyone to check out all of her stuff. She just put out this new EP called Lonesome, and this is like the lead single off of it, and it's just a great song, and just really excited about what she's doing next.
Nice.
And as for my last three, I have Heaven by Bayside, which Bayside is one of those. So and also I have There by the Wonder Years, which is off of what everyone probably thinks is their best album, We the Greatest Generation. And it's the lead single, or it's the lead song on that album. It's the first song on the album, and it's an amazing kickoff. Like it starts off nice and slow and then just kicks in, but it's all about the lyrics. And I love that.
That's great.
Both of these songs are by bands who I find have gotten better with age, and I love that. And like it's not one, they're not, neither of them are bands that I want to see them play their old stuff, or I want to see them play their old album. When I go to see them, I want to see them play songs off their newest album.
That's
and
nice.
I love that feeling.
Yeah, I love the Wonder Years, and I just realized from looking at their albums now that it was like exactly 2010 that they started. That's crazy. Like I didn't realize that they just like kicked off like that whole 10-year period of what happened. Like I didn't realize that it was like 2010. I just seemed like it was earlier.
The Wonder
for
Years.
Me. That's amazing. Yeah. So like I love that record, The Upsides.
Yeah.
And then No Closer to Heaven. I think those are the two that I've listened to more. And that's because I like Everything I Own Fits Into This Backpack.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. And then No Closer to Heaven, I just like that record, but I was like always go back and listen to the Backpack song.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's a great, I don't know, I hardly know anyone who loves No Closer to Heaven that much. Like most people think it's one of their least favorite albums of the band.
Oh no, I think I like the little sad picture, and maybe that's why it's blue, and I clicked on it first a long time ago. I didn't know, I didn't have any data to work on. I
love it. But if you love the Upsides, they're doing a tour in like February, March, where they're playing the Upsides in Suburbia in full. So
that is great.
Totally going to be fun for everyone who loves those throwbacks.
I think I will be at that. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
All right, what do you got next?
So the next one, I'll just do the one. Jhené Aiko, kind of similar to Tame Impala, where they were just two albums that were really just like in different ways. Like her album was just like, I'm just out here, like I'm just a new me, and I'm just gonna, do me, I guess. Like that's just her vibe for this whole record. And I think that was really nice, just from coming off of like, I don't know, 3 really hard years. And then experience. It was like the very beginning of COVID. So it went on my like COVID playlist. Another song from this album that was called, oh God, hold on a second, I gotta click on it. That fit really well, which was Trying to Smoke. That's another one from this album that really worked well on
Somehow
my
that
Kobe
doesn't
playlist.
that name doesn't surprise me.
Yes. But this song
Based
is
on
just
this
great.
song.
It's just, yes. But this one is just great. It's just her and her friend just kind of chatting up about how she's just, she's back to her old self. She's
back
feeling
on her
good.
bullshit, yeah.
And she's ready to just like kind of get back out there into the world and kind of she just kind of show the world who she is. And I think like from the, just that really worked well with my recent experiences. I was like, yes, I feel inspired too. Like, and it's just a good song and it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
So.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with her. I've heard of, I've seen that out there, and I was just, I just thought it was like being like, I thought it was referring to him, like the band HIM. I thought it was like a play on that name, but I didn't know.
Her?
Yeah.
Oh, please. No. Yeah, you need to go ahead and figure out.
That was 100% only based on the name. I was like, okay, I already know HIM, like him, the band that like Bam Margera and all those CKY guys always talked about and like tattoo on their bodies, but I remember. I don't know anything about, I don't really know anything about him. I also don't really know anything about her.
Got it. Well, I think you'll be pleased.
And so this is the downside of not putting these songs in any particular order. My last song is Dear Death Part 2 by Emery, which is I love Emery and I love this song. Like this is song, or this is my favorite album by them, which is In Shallow Seas We Sail. And that's a controversial opinion. Everybody loves Week's End and the ones before this, but I think this is like 100% their best album, because like they got to the point where the production value was better and like their vocals, their like dueling vocals worked out so nicely, and like I think they just told a nice story, and just quality stuff.
I think that's great. I'm gonna listen to this album because I am definitely I stopped at I'm Only a Man, and I am like I'm a huge Week's End and The Question, and I always say that what happened in this time frame for me, and we've talked about this even on a podcast, between 2007 and 2010 was like huge dance punk for me. And I kind of missed a few things when they started releasing albums in the later like the late aughts and the early 10s, and I've had to go back and listen to some of those albums. So I will at least say that like that is why. It wasn't because I was just like this sucks. I was just like, I don't know, listening to like a Vampire Weekend and like
gotcha.
I figured out like Grizzly Bear. I just like went somewhere else like ethereally for a little while. So I didn't keep up with some of my favorite new, because it was still so close to the time that I discovered them in the first place. I think I was just like, okay, let me go over here now. So I've been going back and listening to albums that have been released that I missed. Late aughts and early 10s.
There's some good ones out there. Yeah, you're probably getting it. Like, it's probably an interesting feeling to go back and be like, oh, this is like a sound that doesn't exist that much anymore, and it's a band that I already know and love, and a voice that I know, but a totally new album. It's probably fun to revisit that. Yes. All right. Speaking of revisiting.
I love this song.
Me too.
I love it so much. It's great, and it makes me think about life and sad feelings.
Yeah.
And it's relatable content.
Life and sad feelings. That's Midtown in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, and it's just
happy
such a
music, sad feelings.
It's just such a great. Yeah, I love it. I think I always end up listening to this song and Stupid Kid, like as a double feature. Yeah.
Nice.
Some reason they go together for me.
Yeah, I mean, Living Well is the Best Revenge is such a amazing album. And Midtown was sorely missed after, I know that they put, what was the next album called? Give It Up? Or was that just the single?
I only listened to this.
Yeah, I can't remember what the next one was. Like, their next album was good, but I don't think the scene was ready.
Forget What You Know.
Forget What You Know. Is that that was the next one? Yeah. Forget
that's
they basically were telling their fan base, we're not this anymore. So we're not that pop punky emo drive-through band anymore. We can be more than that. Which a lot of bands in that era were trying to do. Like Under Oath was like, we're not pop punk, we're going back to that metal shit. and they put out Define the Great Line, and some people loved it, but all of us who loved They're Only Chasing Safety didn't really get into it that much.
See, I love that record.
You love Define the Great Line?
I love that. Define the Great Line. Hell yeah.
I've heard it's amazing.
That's one
but
that happened later. Yeah, all that stuff.
My pop punk brain was not ready for that much metal just yet.
I love that. See that? Okay, so that's like also what happened is like that record. Okay, but then I also went more into that. So like Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, the Jean Benet, like Heavy Heavy Low Low, like all these bands were touring in Atlanta pretty often, and I actually got more into like that kind of metal-y, post-hardcore-y, hardcore-y type things.
I think I should go back to Define the Great Line, like you're going back to like Taking Back Sundays, later records and stuff like that, and I think I should go back to Forget What You Know, because I know I enjoyed the songs off that album, but they just didn't hit me the right way at that time. Like I wasn't ready for it, I don't think. So
yes,
I think it's time to go revisit some of those albums. I think you've inspired me to go do that. So
there's always time.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here, but thanks for making this playlist with me. And I love talking about the music with you, because we have so many opinions about music. But we should totally make this an annual thing or something. Make a playlist every year, and I'm very excited about your new Indie Digs playlist. I already found a few bands I'm going to dig into. I didn't mention Church Girls, but that's one of the ones that I really want to check out.
Oh my god, they're really cool.
So anybody else out there, check out indiedigs.com and check out Indie Digs on Spotify and Apple Music and all the places. And thanks, Chanel, for doing this with me again. It's been super fun. Thanks for having me so early in the morning. Bye.